Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be sharing with you the curriculum choices that I have for my fourth grader for the 2018-2019 school year. Now my fourth grader is a boy. It's my oldest son, and you will notice that we are using a lot of BJU Press materials, and we're actually doing the majority of them through the distance learning program, and he's doing that online, and I'll go through that, talk a little bit more about that as I share with you each of the curriculum choices. I did want to say up front though that if I was just choosing curriculum that was going to be the absolute best fit for my son, meaning fits his learning style and, just his interest and all of that, I probably would have gone with a different curriculum that we have used in the past. So why did I then pick BJU Press Distance Learning for him if I think something else would be even better? Well, a curriculum is only good if you can implement it and it can be used. And the curriculum that I think probably would have been a little bit better fit for him is one that in this season of life, homeschooling 5 kids, having 7 kids total and 5 of those that I'm actually homeschooling and having a 2-year-old running around, I just could not implement it. So we had to kind of compromise. We had to find something that I could implement and that I think would work fairly well for him. So the distance learning videos worked well for him last year. This year, because we are doing even more distance learning videos, I am going to change things a little bit, and hopefully I'll be able to do kind of an update video for you and how I'm changing things so that it reduces his screen time so he doesn't have as much of a workload, and just to bring some interest and variety to the program for him to better just fit him a little bit better. So that video will hopefully be coming out in the next couple weeks, but this is a curriculum choice video, so let me share with you all of the curriculum that I have over here for my fourth grader. First up is Bible, and you're probably going to question this at first because this is second grade Bible. He is going to be doing Bible Truths from BJU Press. We're doing it on DVD. This is the one that he is not doing online, but with the DVDs. The reason he's doing Bible 2 is because he's going to be doing it with his second grade sister and his 4, almost 5-year-old brother. So I needed to find a Bible curriculum that would be, entertain and be good enough for the 4, almost 5-year-old, but also, wouldn't be too babyish for my fourth grader. And so I compromised with the second grade one. That way all 3 of my kids can do Bible together. That's why we got it on the DVD, so we can put it on our TV on the bigger screen and they can watch that together. I only got one workbook though, and we are going to be just working through the workbook together, just sit together and go through the questions, fill out things together. So I only got one workbook, one set, but they'll all be doing that together. So that is Bible that he's going to be doing with his second grade sister and his little brother. For science, he is going to be doing BJU Press Science 4. He's going to be doing this through the distance learning program online. And so we've got the textbook and the activity manual. And he really actually enjoyed Science 3 from BJU Press distance learning last year. So I thought this would be a great thing for him again this year. I'm going to set that down. Next up is Heritage Studies. And so for Heritage Studies, again, we are going with BJU Press Distance Learning Heritage Studies 4. We've got the textbook and the activity manual. Heritage Studies is one that I think we probably could have found a curriculum that would have fit him a little bit better and brought a little bit more interest to him. This he still likes, he still enjoys, but the amount of videos, when you're doing almost every single subject with videos, it kind of bogs at least my fourth grade boy down. And so again, I'm going to add some variety, and I'll share more about that in an upcoming video. Science would also have been one that would have been fun to use a different curriculum and do all of my kids together and teach them all together. I kind of missed that when we're doing all of these distance learning videos. But again, I have the two kids that I think would have done really well with doing science together with him really like the BJU Press distance learning science videos, and they didn't want to give that up. And so I thought, well, if I'm only going to teach one person, it just didn't make sense to do a different curriculum for one kid if they weren't all going to be joining in. So we just went with science with BJU and heritage studies with BJU distance learning as well. All right, set that one down. For math, he is going to be doing BJU Press Distance Learning Math 4 as well. This comes with the workbook as well as a review book. So last year, he started off with Math UC, and he has used Math UC from Primer. Last year, mid-year, I just realized Math UC just wasn't clicking for him. It worked really well for a lot of my other children, but it wasn't clicking for him. We switched him over to BJU Math for 3rd grade last year, and I really saw some improvements with them, especially using their distance learning videos for math. I think this is where I'm really loving the distance learning videos, is with the math. Some of the lessons, because they're so long, can bog him down. So I'll talk a little bit about that in my upcoming video about how we're kind of tweaking math a little bit. But the videos not only teach the lesson, but they have lots of review, which he needed, and they practice math facts, which again is something that he needed. Now I'm noticing though that last year he just had a workbook. This year he has a workbook and a review book, and the distance learning program comes with handouts as well. That seems like a lot to me. Talk more about that later, but so we are cutting this down a little bit, but I'm still really excited for him to be using this curriculum this year, because this really fits him really well, and he really does well watching the videos and getting his math instruction from the videos. So this is a win-win, really good thing for us this year. Now for handwriting, I originally was going to have him do we're going to do our own thing for handwriting. I was just going to pick out passages of scripture, passages from history and science that he was learning, books that he was reading, let him just copy and practice his handwriting by copying, what he was reading and verses in the Bible and all of that. Well, I have to say, with our move and stuff, I just didn't feel like pulling out passages from science and history and Bible verses. I just didn't want to do any extra work. And we got this when we got the 4th grade BJU, grade kit. It came with handwriting. And so as I was flipping through this book, I went, oh, wouldn't you know, it's got, quotes and different things for him to do, kind of similar to what I was going to create for him. The only difference is that this, the BJU handwriting is different than the cursive and the print that I have taught him. And so I didn't want him to have to switch to a different handwriting. Well, what I decided was that he could just copy the passages or do the activities that were in this handwriting book. We are not doing the videos for this. It comes with videos. We are not doing those. He is just going to be working. I don't think you can see that very well, but he's just going to be doing the copying and stuff in this book, but using the cursive style and print style that he's already learned. So I kind of told him, ignore how they write it and write it how mommy's taught you, and we're going to be going back and forth between cursive and print. He'll be practicing both of those in here. So I wouldn't necessarily have used this book, but since I already had it and it came with, with the grade kit, it was like, well, gosh, I don't want to do extra work. Let's use what we have. So he's going to do that for handwriting. Now for reading, we are going with BJU Press Distance Learning Online. We are doing Reading 3. It comes with a work text and then 2 separate books that are full of stories for them to read. So this is Reading 3A and Reading 3B. If I remember correctly, I should have looked before I made this video, but I didn't have time. I think this is the older edition, and I think they have the older edition when you do it online, the distance learning program, because the videos haven't been updated, but I believe there is a newer version of Reading 3. I think so. I could be wrong, but I think they've actually updated this. So if you're looking at this and you're doing BJU Press, but you're not doing distance learning and you're thinking, my third grader stuff does not look like this, this might be the older edition. Now, why are we doing third grade instead of fourth grade? Well, because that's where he is and that's what he needs. And isn't that the great thing about homeschooling? We can teach our kids what they need at the level that they need it. And this is one thing I do love about BJU Press, is that when you order a grade kit, you can pick 2 of the subjects and go up 2 grades or down 2 grades. So if my son was just a whiz at math, I could have gone all the way up to 6th grade math. Struggling in reading, I could have gone all the way down to 2nd grade reading. For 2 subjects, you can do that, go up or down 2 grades. So I think that is really great. Instead of having to just buy a subject kit and your kid, or a grade kit, and your kid might not be doing every single subject at a 4th grade level. You can adjust it. So we're going with 3rd grade reading for him. We are also doing the 3rd grade English as well. I thought he might be able to handle the 4th grade English, but I just figured we didn't need to move fast. I feel like this was adequate enough for him. I think this is challenging enough, and BJU Press just kind of builds on the same thing, so he's going to repeat the same concepts in here over and over again, a little bit more difficult each year. So I figure he'll get what he needs eventually, and I think this is going to be a great fit for him. It's writing and grammar, rotates between grammar and writing lessons, and so really excited for him to be using that. Now, the last thing that we are doing is not BJU Press. For spelling, we are continuing to use the Spell to Write and Read program. I've been using this for years. It makes sense to me now. I put a lot of effort into figuring it out, and so it works for me, it works for my kids, so we're going to keep using it. This is the Spell to Write and Read Teacher's Manual. This is the Wise Guide. This has all the spelling lists for kindergarten all the way up through high school level words. And then this is called the Black Learning Log. This is where he is going to write his spelling words, and all the spelling rules and everything get put right in here. And the wonderful thing about Spell to Write and Read is you buy this one time for all of your children. And it's not very expensive. And then each year you just buy this little book here. And so for me, and having such a large family, this is really cost effective for me. Now, we did get the BJU Press spelling in the grade kit that we got, and we just won't be using that. I'll probably resell it. So we're going with Spell to Write and Read for spelling. So that's everything that my 4th grader is using this year for his curriculum. I will be giving you updates throughout the year on how things are going. I will be doing that video on how I'm tweaking and changing this distance learning stuff a little bit just to fit him better. So make sure to subscribe so you'll be notified when that video comes out. I would love to know what you are using with your 4th grader. Share that in the comments below. Obviously, people who are watching this video are probably looking for curriculum for their 4th grader. And obviously, this is what's working for my son and my family. But there's a lot of great curriculum out there. So I'd love for you to leave a comment. Let us know what you're using for 4th grade. Maybe that'll be helpful to some other people viewing this video. I also have been sharing curriculum choices for my 8th grader and 6th grader, and coming up soon for my 2nd grader. So you can go onto my YouTube channel and check all of those out as well. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again really soon in another video. Bye-bye.